Here in the womb, enveloped in darkness and warmth, a baby's life begins in earnest. It is a sacred space, pristine, insulated, more than 9 months of safe refuge from the world outside.
When you imagine a baby sort of nice and safe and tucked away in the womb, impervious to all the assaults that occur on the body. You say not so fast?
Not so fast. The placenta is doing its work as well as it can, but it is not a perfect barrier. And many chemicals do pass relatively easily across the placenta.
Chemicals? In here? Babies are born every day with not one, not two, but hundreds of toxic substances. In a study by the Environmental Working Group, a non-profit environmental advocacy organization, an average of 232 chemicals were measured in the cord blood of 10 babies born late last year. Now, there's no science yet that demonstrates conclusive cause and effect between this mix of toxins our children are born with and particular health problems. But many leading pediatricians believe it's precisely what we do not know that makes this so troubling.
For 80% of the common chemicals in everyday use in this country, we know almost nothing about whether or not they can damage the brains of children, the immune system, the reproductive system, the other developing organs. It's really a terrible mess we've gotten ourselves into.
The list of chemicals measured in cord blood is, well, long. PBDEs, flame retardants in computers, televisions, mattresses, furniture. BPA in food cans, bottle tops, hard plastics. PFCs, water repellents used to make non-stick products, food packaging, carpeting, furniture. Phthalates, found in a wide array of products from children's toys to cosmetics. But how do they make their way from out here to in here? The answer may be inside this backpack I began investigating 2 years ago.
All the air that you're breathing in will be filtered in through this device.
These are adjustable straps.
All right, let's adjust them.
Yeah.
It's not a perfect model for the lung, but it is a good indication of what's in the air that the women are breathing and what could potentially be transferred to the fetus.
Dr. Frederica Pereira is 12 years into a landmark study at Columbia University's Center for Children's Environmental Health, following hundreds of pregnant women as they navigate these city streets, measuring their exposure to toxic substances, vehicle emissions, pesticides, secondhand smoke. Each one wears a backpack with a tube that acts like a lung, sucking in the same air that they're breathing. What researchers found was stunning.
It surprised me when we analyzed the air samples and found that 100% of them had detectable levels of at least one pesticide and the air pollutants that we were interested in, every single one.
100% had pesticides, pollutants that scientists were testing for, eventually making their way from mom into the womb. Now, it'd be one thing if these chemicals were innocuous, but studies in both animals and humans suggest they may not be.
These chemicals can have effects on brain development.
All of that forces us to examine the safety of the safe haven.
I hope this goes well, getting the message out.
Molly Jones-Gray cares a lot about maintaining that safe haven.
So you've been feeling good?
She's a midwife and an advocate.
Mothers-to-be, such as myself at the time, can make many choices to ensure a healthy pregnancy. We can take prenatal vitamins. We can eat a healthy diet. We can avoid cigarettes and alcohol. We can exercise. But of all the choices that we are able to make, we do not have a choice in this one. We cannot protect our babies from the powerful influence on toxic chemicals on their developing bodies.
Yeah. And then we just check
I usually say don't put anything on a baby's skin that you wouldn't eat. If you can't recognize any of the ingredients, if you can't pronounce them, probably not a good idea to put on our skin.
Gray knows a lot about pregnancy, a lot about babies, and a lot about miscarriages.
Losing early pregnancies was really hard to go through.
To have that ripped away from you, it puts you in an emotional state that you can't really describe. And you wonder why. You know, is it something that I did?
For us, it led to this huge search into, is there anything that we can do differently? Is there anything that we can do better?
Molly and her husband did everything they could think of. They ate organic. They avoided fish with mercury. When she finally did get pregnant with her son Paxton, she had a blood test that found toxic levels of mercury, a heavy metal that can cause brain damage. Paxton, fortunately, is fine.
Somehow my son was being exposed to mercury, and that's a weight to carry because I feel like it's our jobs as parents to protect them, to care for them, to nurture them, and to keep them out of harm's way.
15% of children have at least one developmental problem. We've seen relationships between the air pollutants and chromosomal abnormalities. A red flag that there has been some change that could increase risk of cancer later on.
None of that sounds very good.
No, it doesn't sound good.
Could it be the chemicals? Well, for now, we just don't know.